Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bad Bit Show. I am your host, Joseph, and it is here where I talk to awesome people who create some awesome things that get me passionate about the content that I make, that get me passionate about the gaming industry. Last week we had Sean, which was fantastic. It was the best pilot episode a man can ask for. And now we have Joe from JoAfterwork. How are you doing, man?
It all goes downhill from here. You started big, you ended so low. I was like, oh man,
Uh,
sorry guys.
I think I was having this conversation with Sean. I'm not too sure. We were talking about, I was telling him that you're my next guest, and I wanted to do this on purpose because we're both named Joe. And so
Oh
I
my
think
God.
he created the name, and the title will be like Two Joes, One Episode, or something amazing like that. So
Oh my God.
this show's all about talking to people that get me passionate about video games, and I want to share that passion with the audience. And so, the question I'll always ask, and it's one that's always just the most interesting, is what is the game that got you into gaming? Because we all have our first game we've ever played. Like mine's a Super Mario World, but what is that game where you're like, this is it. This is I love it. Like I what game, you fell in love with gaming with, I guess.
Y- Yeah, right off the bat, Final Fantasy VI. I sorry if I sound like a broken record to anybody who might know me from other channels, but Final Fantasy VI, Super Nintendo, which was Final Fantasy III at the time.
Okay.
Watching my brother play it, it got to the point where we had played that game so much that we would have to rent it because we didn't own it at the time. We
Same
would
here.
we'd rent it from the mom and pop shop, and that and the West Coast Video, we would try to get the same
Yo.
cartridge every time with the same save to continue on. We only had the weekends to play it. Like that whole journey is amazing. Like it's still one of my favorite games to this day.
Mm,
That's the game. Oh gosh, I must have been 6 or 7 when that game came out, and that sort of got my hooks into JRPGs. Like that's the first
okay.
one I really remember. And then that you go to something which is a little more, and I don't mean this as an insult at all because I love the series, a little more basic like Pokemon,
Yeah.
and I fell in love with that even more. And that sort of like grew my love for JRPGs
Okay.
early on. That Link's Awakening, uh, a lot of Game Boy games because I got I built I mainly played handheld a lot,
All right.
but around when I first started it was like NES, Double Dragon, The Revenge 2 and whatnot. But yeah, definitely had to be Super NES era stuff.
Okay. Okay. See, you brought up something interesting, right? Like renting games. Like
Yeah.
I think the closest thing now is trying a game out at GameStop, or like buying it used and then coming back to it, and like returning it after the 7 days or whatever,
Yeah, man.
or like
It's
even
like Redbox, right?
yeah, Redbox. Every time you're outside a shop, right there you go. Like not a lot of people rent games anymore. Is what I'm dawning on me. It'd be
No?
awesome, like in the digital era, that like like how on iTunes you have like rent or purchase.
Yep.
That'd be so crazy if they try to do that, like in that type of form. I guess the streaming service or the online service like Game Pass is gonna try to do that, but man,
Yeah, dude, it's been a minute. Like
it's
you
been
don't
a
see
minute.
Blockbuster, you don't
No,
see like a lot of those things are gone. I'm trying to think. I feel like remember that service on live
yes,
before who the hell bought it? I can't remember who bought that one. But
I know Sony bought Gaikai.
yeah,
Someone I know someone did purchase on live. I forget who it was.
it might have been some like business company and maybe they just don't exist as like a gaming thing anymore.
Yeah.
But I had on live for a bit. I feel like they had a rental system as well built in.
Oh shit! And you know what? We're
I
also
think so. Yeah.
we're GameFly. There you go. That's another one. I but I don't. I like. Have you
Oh
ever
yeah. Well,
used?
yeah. Duh.
Have
That's
you
the
ever
obvious,
used
yeah.
GameFly? I've never used GameFly in
No,
my life.
funny story about that. I
Yeah.
tried a few years back, and for some reason, the old bank I was with, my debit card just wouldn't read with GameFly, and they wouldn't
Mm.
go together. So I couldn't. It got to the point where I had to call the bank and had them tie in with GameFly. And I was like, okay, this is just it's not worth it. I'll just keep buying games.
Yeah, it looks like I just wikied this. Okay, so this is not any hard research. On Live, they defunct in 2015. They sold their patents to Sony. So
Okay,
there
that's
you
what.
go.
Okay.
There you go. Come back on Live.
Yeah.
It's so ahead of its time. So
It was decent. I
yeah.
got Street Fighter 4 Ultra for $1.
So what was so you said Final Fantasy VI was that game that like
Yeah,
wow, this is what I had to. You know, how old was like the difference between you and your brother? How old was your brother and
we're 6 years apart,
same
so
here.
yeah,
Holy
man.
shit. Okay. All right. So like me and my brother, man, I remember because we had a, I don't know what happened with my brother, but like there was somewhere down the line where he fell out of games and I just dove in. But I remember back in the day, he was like, I was his player too. You know,
Yeah.
like we play what is it, uh, Power Rangers, Ninja
Oh my
Turtles, Turtles in
god.
Time,
Oh
like
my god.
oh my, it was awesome. Like it was, those were the games I remember. And yeah, I remember every time renting them from Blockbuster or like going to West Coast Video. It was,
Oh my god.
those
You
were
had
the
West Coast Video
days.
too? Oh my
Yes.
god.
Are
Yes.
you in
It's so
Jersey as
random.
well? Are
No, I'm in
you in
New
the
York
tri?
City. It's so
Oh,
random.
okay. All right. Close enough.
This was when I lived in Staten Island at the time. They had one West Coast Video. It's the weirdest thing. We're on the East Coast, and
Yeah.
I don't get it, but sure.
You know what? I never thought about that till now. Oh my goodness. So that was your game of your childhood. What is the game like you stream,
Mhm.
you do content on YouTube. What was the like the process in that? Like what led you to go, you know what? I'm going to name myself Joe After Work. I'm going to be a Twitch streamer because that's what I want to do.
Oh man, yeah. So I don't know if this will be the long version or the in between short and
You
long
take
version.
as long or as short as you want, sir.
So I'll preface it by 2015 January. A I got the flu for the first time ever, and it was the absolute worst feeling. I
Yeah.
didn't know what the hell was happening to my body. I was out for like a week, and during that week, so many random things were happening. I was, you know, listening to which one called Game Over Greggy had finally become kind of funny for like a couple months, and
All
then
right.
I woke up one morning. It was like in the afternoon. I saw my Twitter feed like why I left IGN, and it's like Tim Geddes, Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty, Nick Scarpino. I was like, is this a joke or are they actually doing this? Wait, what happened here? And they freaking left IGN, and I had been following Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty from Beyond for a while, for maybe a couple years. I was around like just before 300.
Okay.
Um, like I was like I randomly decided to like jump into more podcasts outside of like Cole Cabana and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
I got into them during the PlayStation blackout. Cuz
oh my god, where they
that's
had all the fireside chats and all
yeah,
that.
cuz that's when first of all those are some of the best podcasts you can ever
Oh
listen
yeah,
to.
yeah.
And that was I purchased my PlayStation 3 I think a few days or a week into the blackout. That's how I got introduced to
No.
Sony.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
because like I tell this story all the time, but like I used to work at GameStop. This guy tried to sell his system for weed, but he didn't have a power cord or a controller, and so I was just like, I'll buy it from you for like 70-80 bucks, and he did it. And then I had a PS3. I bought
Oh
Uncharted,
my
and
god.
I remember them talking about the blackout, and that is how I got into them as
Oh
well.
my god.
So
I, I
yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I
Oh,
still
okay.
remember that episode. episode. I think it was when the blackout stopped and that the dude's girlfriend's on the phone in the background. Kelly, it's Kelly. What?
So they played a huge role I'm sorry, I totally cut you off. So they
Yeah,
played a
no.
huge role in your decision making.
Yeah, because I mean, I had been following them for so long, and then like they had that they did that, and I was like, I'd just been working a retail job at the time, and just like I didn't have anything creative going on. I was going to work, I was going home, sleeping, playing video games sometimes, not doing any music. Like I played guitar, and I hadn't played in like a couple of years. I still haven't gone back and like played it, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many other creative things that I have going on that like I'm okay right now. But at the time it was just like nothing. I was like, all right, well, I'm twiddling my thumbs here, like not doing nothing. And they kind of kept me going to like kind of like push yourself and like do all these different things.
Yeah.
They had IGN, they had kind of funny, they had, Game Over Greggy before then. And when that happened, that like I don't know, I just something happened to me, and I was just like, all right, well, I'm here in bed right now. I'm sick as a dog, and I'm watching like some of my favorite people go off and do something that they believe in, not knowing if there's like any security behind it, but just jumping in because it's something that they love to do and they want to make something out of it. So I decided then in bed to like just start mocking up like what I want to do for a YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
And I like immediately I was like, Joe After Work is what I knew I wanted to name it. Like that just kind of like spun there because I was like, all right, well, what am I normally doing when I come home from work? I'm either playing video games or I'm laying down in bed watching something on Hulu. So I went off that. Originally the channel was like, not so Nintendo centric. I played a little bit of everything. I had my PS4, I had the Wii U at the time. I eventually ended up picking up an Xbox One, but I had a 360 for a while. Didn't really play anything there on the channel, but PS4 is what I really started heavy on because Resident Evil Remake was coming out at the time. Huge Resident Evil fan. It's one of my favorite series, despite its ups and downs.
Yeah. How do you think of 7?
I liked 7. I
Okay.
really liked 7.
That was
There
my
some
first one.
Weird, really? Oh man, dude, go! If that RE2 remake comes out,
I'll jump on it. I promise.
oh my gosh, yes, please.
So if this isn't too much information, you just yell at me
Yeah.
or punch me in the face.
Yeah.
What do you do? Just do it. Don't worry about it. It's not the worst thing that would happen to me today.
Oh my god.
What does your job entail? Like,
So
you retail, or are you like a secret agent that kills people? What is it?
sorta.
Okay.
No. I worked at Apple at the time, and I was
Oh.
doing facilities coordinating over there. Now I'm a facilities manager for an art gallery that's overseeing like a few different locations and whatnot. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
dealing with like, yeah. it's a lot of work. So it's like my time is 24/7 basically. Even
that's
when I'm
awesome,
doing
though.
YouTube, yeah. So yeah, if there's like exhibitions, I'm building out. I'm getting all the contractors together to build out some of the new layouts and whatnot, or renovating offices. Right now, I'm working on this freight elevator project. It's taking forever.
So does like this art gallery like hire you for stuff, or like?
I mean I'm working there. Like
Okay.
I found the job around. It's funny. 2015 was kind of like where everything happened. I was also looking for another job because I'd kind of like been doing the same thing there. I'd been at Apple there for 8 years, I want
Oh,
to say,
wow.
and I'd been doing that particular role for about 3-4 years, and there really wasn't any movement. And I had asked around. I was like, "Hey, my pay is not going to go up in anything. You'll get like 30 cents
Yeah.
in a raise," and they'll say like, "Hey, you're doing a good job." And it's like, all right, well, I kind of want to eventually get a home or
Retire.
propose to my now fiance and
Yeah.
stuff like,
Aw.
and I can't afford that stuff if you guys are paying me crap for doing for work clock. So, I looked for other opportunities, and three
So
years later, that's where I am.
yeah. So the Skype lag aside, I have this question for you. So you decide that this is what you want to do. You want to get into streaming. You kind of funny is your inspiration. Um, what is it that gets you going? You know what? I want to cover Nintendo stuff. I want to be more Nintendo centric. Maybe one day be a part of a Planet Nintendo podcast. Like, how does that roll into things?
So the decision for me to like fully change over Nintendo came around the end of 2016.
Hmm.
I had been streaming mostly 3DS games and that was around the
How does
time that I
that
started.
work?
Oh man, dude, it's crazy. They got these mod things that you send out to either Japan, or there's this one dude in the US that does them too. But like basically, it's a capture card added onto your board, on
What?
the motherboard of the 3DS, and it's a micro USB slot right there that
Holy
you just pop
shit!
in. There's like software for it. Yeah, dude.
How
But
and how did like how much did that run you?
that I want to say it was 250
Oh
for the
wow, okay.
board. Yeah, it's crazy.
I was expecting like somewhere in the threes. All right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
nuts. I'm sorry. So you're
Well, I sent it out there. Like you
yeah.
can buy it directly from them, everything, but then you're spending like 500,
You
$600.
gotta
Like,
solder
oh yeah,
it.
I'll just send it out instead.
So you're
Thanks.
streaming 3DS games, and you're like,
It's
I
like, you
like
know what?
this.
At this point, because this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like most of my gaming, it was done on trains. Was even when I'm home, like I would normally have a handheld of some sort. Like GBA is one of my favorite handheld consoles. I know
Oh
we
yeah,
talked about it on PMP
yeah.
before. But the 3DS is what I would carry around, and I started off with Fire Emblem Fate's Birthright. And I was like, let's try it out. Let's see what happens.
I like
And
Birthright a lot.
yeah, oh man, that's such a good game. But I found out how to do it because of Abdallah Smash, because I knew he was streaming 3DS games. I was like, how the hell is he doing that? So I'm looking around. I find Blunty's YouTube channel, and like he has the name of the Katsu Kitty who does all the capture cards
Mm.
and all that. It's like, oh, awesome. Okay, now I got to type this up, find it out, and sent it out, and that happened. But that was a year and a half after I had started the YouTube channel, which started off more podcasts about gaming, and then changed over into just me playing games for the most part,
Yeah.
because my buddy who was originally coming over here like every week to record podcasts had some personal family problems. So you know that kind of just sort of ended and went on a never
It
ending
it
hiatus.
always seems that way. Like it always seems like like people go, let's make a podcast, and then something happens, someone leaves or something,
Yeah,
whatever the case may be, and it slowly turns into something else. Like Bad Big Games used to be called Poly Games, and Poly Games before I was a YouTube. Oh God, yeah. I did YouTube. We were a podcast, and we do it like every week with my brother, but they were bad podcasts. And now, even now, like I feel like I've learned, but like
dude.
like back in the day, that was some rough stuff. So like,
You got to get through the bad to get to the good, man.
yeah, you gotta. The one thing I think I and I see in other people is like, if I forget who I was talking to about this, but I always feel like my work isn't good enough. Like I never feel like, you know what, this is the best thing I've ever made, and this is it. Like I always think, like I always smell my own shit. I think is the best way of saying it. It's like this could be better,
Well,
and
yeah,
let
I
me
mean,
find a way how.
yeah, I mean, you're your own worst critic, so it's like that's a good thing to
Yeah. So
keep
like,
going with.
the podcast isn't working out, and you're just like, fuck it, let me just start streaming.
Basically, yeah, like I had the capture card, and I hadn't been able to do as much gaming because of the time I spent editing all the videos for like the podcast that we were doing and the silly stuff that we were doing with the challenges and whatnot. That grew from there. Did some like PC 3, sorry, Xbox One and PS4 content,
Mm.
and then most of it became 3DS with a little bit of PS4. 20 towards the September 2016, I randomly got invited out by Capcom to preview
Holy
the
shit.
PSVR. Yeah, this was the wildest thing. This is sort of like what sets the course of everything on Twitch. I get a random invite because I did a survey on their Resident Evil ambassador program, and I filled it out, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just put my YouTube channel in there in the thing right there, whatever, and see what
Yeah.
happens. See if we
Oh,
we
crap.
win anything. I got an email from Kellen Haney, and he's like one of the community managers
Hmm.
for Capcom. Um, I was like, is this real? Wait, what? What's happening? Like they paid for the trip out there. I got to meet a bunch of people. Um, who we still have like a Twitter group together, and one of them also still streams. My
That's
buddy
awesome.
Seek and Destroy, and we all like became friends from that meetup and whatnot, which was really awesome. We got to be like the first ones to check out the PSVR demo. They were doing a tour for 20th
Yeah.
anniversary before Resident Evil 7 came out, and we got to play the game, check it out.
That's
It
so
was
cool.
really awesome time. Like we got to meet a lot of people. Tim Turry was there, which was awesome. I don't know if you know him. He was a
Mm-mm.
Game Informer, and then
Oh, okay.
he got a job over at Capcom. That was really surreal. I was like, I've heard this guy's voice before, and now I'm seeing him. This is kind of weird.
Yeah, no, that I get that. So like I get this really weird thing. It's due to my social anxiety that like I've done a few kind of funny meetups in New York City. That's how I met Kyle, my co-host for the Trophy Room, the best fucking
Nice.
co-host in the land. Let me tell you something.
Oh my god.
Kyle, he doesn't get enough credit. He's seriously amazing. And there's one meetup where we got to meet Cool Greg and Kev Dog, the Kev Dog.
Get
And I
out
was
of
just so
here.
nervous to like, because I'm just a piece of shit. I'm just like a whatever. And dude, like they're like the nicest people, you know. Like I
Dude,
was,
that's so awesome.
yeah.
What meetup was that? Because I remember when they were in New York City. I can't remember.
I
This
think it
was
was
last year,
Brooklyn.
right?
Yeah, I think Brooklyn SummerSlam.
Oh
I
my
think it was,
god.
or right
Wow.
before it.
What?
Yeah, I think in Brooklyn. I drove there too. I drove there,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, and it was an adventure. It really was. But like,
Oh man.
how do you deal with? Because me, I just shut down. How do you deal with like, yeah, like seeing someone who like inspires you on that level, like you're fangirling. Like how do you deal with the fangirl? You
I,
know?
dude, I still don't know how to deal with it to this day. I'm like, I bumped into Colin Moriarty at a Comic Con here in New York Comic Con. This had to have been the year before they left.
Okay.
I think that was his last Comic Con. And I was like,
Did
wait,
I
is that Colin
just?
Moriarty? Is that him? And I was like, I never like go up to people. I always just like stay away,
Hmm.
and like I was like, oh, that's that person. Cool. All
Yeah.
right. I
I
saw them. And
like
that's it.
like I don't like to brag, but like I met Chris Rock. I ate literally
Nice.
at the same table, right across, not even 2 or 3 feet away from him. We locked eyes because he was like wearing sunglasses, and he was just like, "Fuck,"
Uh,
and I just went back to eating because I'm like, I understand. I don't want to bother you.
yeah. Yeah.
I acknowledge you exist, and I'm gonna give you your space because like to me, I'm just like. Yeah, like I don't again social anxiety. I'm like, what if I walk up to him? I'm like, I don't want to be rude, but I fucking love your stand up.
Oh my
you
God.
know?
Yeah, it can get weird. Like, I don't know. I just never been one, yeah, to like really go up. That was the one time though. I like shook his hand. I was like, "Hey,
That's
I
awesome.
enjoyed the podcast." And then I walked away, and I don't know why I was shaking. Why I was shaking. Like, I have no idea why. It was like, "What the hell?" Like, he's just another dude. Why am I like all nervous?
Yeah, that's awesome. And like he was nice about it. Like he wasn't like,
Dude, he was chill about it. Like
that's awesome.
he was on his phone. I guess he was getting ready because there was another dude with a camera, so he must have been taking a break or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, did that, walked away real quick. I was like in and out. Like, I do not usually just randomly talk to people or anything. I'm very like to myself.
Yeah.
Like, it takes me a while to like ease in and talk to people sometimes.
No, I
I,
get you. Especially if like you know them. You know what I mean? Like they're somewhat famous to
Yeah.
you or something. Like dude, I totally get it. That's awesome. So like, kind of funny had a really big influence on you. It seems.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Does it still, do they still? Because I know when Colin left, a lot of people were torn. Um, where do they lie for you now? Do you see them as like that compass? Like that's where I want to go. Like when you started Joe After Work, or you're like, like, hat off to you, and I'm gonna do something else. Like where do you see them as in your mind?
I mean, the format that they have now is awesome. Like that's still something that I aspire to like have one day.
Yeah.
But definitely like after that whole thing last year, like I started to feel a little bit weird about like the stuff that they were putting out and whatnot. And it is what it is at the end of the day. It was a silly, stupid tweet that happened. And Colin's one of the people that like whenever a game comes out and he reviewed it, like usually I agree with what he's saying, like 9 times out of 10. Like usually he's like on the nose of like, okay, yeah, I see where he's going with that, or like he'll point out things and I'm like, huh, I didn't think of it that way before.
For me, like Colin's so very interesting to me because like when it comes to games, man, right on the money, right?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
he is his writing style is so unique, so when a piece is from him, when he talks, he is intelligent, and like like when it comes to games, I agree with him 110%, and I always try to take that reasonable, and I know it's surprising from him, centrist way of like looking at gaming. Like Bad Big Games to me is very much inspiration, or trying to be of what Colin does and what Boogie does, and try to make a kind of like let reason prevail, and not two sides are correct. There's always a middle ground.
Trying to find the best of both.
Yeah. And so like for me it's crazy how much respect I have for the man, because like for me I don't agree with his politics at all. Like we're totally different, but it's beautiful in the way that to me it shows how powerful gaming is, because I don't care what how wrong Colin is. To me it's about how like games are bring us together.
Yep.
And that's just another way. It's like, dude, I would not listen to this guy and his politics whatsoever. I wouldn't give him a chance a day. But now that we have this middle ground to meet on, like I hear him out, and what he has to say, it gave me a perspective of like, okay, hear the other side out, right? Whatever like bullshit nonsense you think, there's always someone who has a different opinion than you. But again, take the centrist route. Like, hear both sides out, make your informed decision. But then also, when you're wrong, and just you have to fix your opinion. That's how I've always seen things. So like, for me, like Colin was that great navigator of teaching me or showing me that there are other voices out there. I'm sorry, I took your
no, dude. No, dude, that was beautiful. I agree. Like that's like, and that's kind of the glory of like YouTube. Yeah, you can find like-minded people, but granted, politics aside and all that stuff, like there's grounds that you can meet on and you can talk about, and you can find other ideas and like different ways of thinking. Sometimes you're like, oh, I never thought of it this way, or like, oh, that's really cool, I didn't know anything about that, and this dude's talking about it, let me find out more. So I like the way that he would always challenge that and would kind of be on the other side of the fence of those conversations, bring that in, because normally you'll have a podcast where everyone's sort of more or less on you don't really get the conflict, and I like the conflict because it sparks better conversation, and you're learning more about both sides.
And that, but like there's even like that extra layer of like, there's two different sides, and look, they're showing like they're presenting their evidence, and then at the end of the day they're like, okay, agree. It's not even like agree to disagree, it's here's our views, And
Yeah.
that's it. Like, take it if you like it. You know, the Anchorman quote: "If you like it, take it. If you don't, send it right on back." Right? Like that's how you got to deal with things. So like for me, I want to know what your take on this. How do you deal with, and have you? I don't know because you're such a great personality. How do you deal with? Oh, like oh shucks. How do you deal with assholes?
You
Those
know, it's
people you
funny.
can't see in the middle. Those people that'll say real mean shit to you. Does some of them keep you up at night?
It's so weird. I've not encountered
Ooh.
yet like anyone that's like really like, ooh, ooh, mm.
Let me tell you,
um,
just today,
really, oh
just
my God.
today.
Like I've had people that like troll around and stuff, and you know what? I'm weird. I'm the type of person that'll start like joking back, or like
Me too.
I'll say a slight comment, and that's me like I'll say something snarky if it gets to that point, but I don't really get it all that often like
Yeah,
on
no.
Twitch or anything like that. Like everyone's been super positive, and if there is anyone bad, like usually somehow it gets turned spun around, and like we find a way to get along and find a ground and like prevent the troll from being a troll or an asshole.
Yeah. I
It's really
got,
weird.
I got, so like, I got this comment today. I want to know how you would deal with this.
Uh-oh.
Go get cancer and die. That's one of them. One of them's like, get fucked, buddy. And like, a lot of people, like, I got my first death threat off of like Nintendo Labo.
What?
And I'm just looking at these people like how I deal with it, because like it happens. It happens. People are gonna like make fun of the way my appearance. I get it. I'm laughable. But like to me, yeah, like I feed the trolls a little bit. I just give them a little something to snack on, and then I cut them off completely. I use the dentist system on them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Separate
mean
entirely.
that's a block. That's hands down.
Yeah.
That's I'm I don't like feeding fuel to the fire. Like I'm
No.
just like, you know what? No. And yeah, I mean I've had comments like not like to that extent. Nowhere near that extent, but it's weird. There was a comment, and I don't know if this is YouTube doing the work for me
Mm.
or if they're deleting their comments. This happened twice. One was for my Faye preview.
Okay.
Someone put this game is for gay and trans people, and then I went to go in and see the person that made the comment. I was like, who made this comment? Like, what's happening here? And then I go in and the comment's not there anymore. Like
Okay.
as soon as it went up, it went out, and I don't see it in my spam or
Hopefully that person gained a consciousness and said, maybe
yeah.
this is just a dumb comment.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's really random. And then the I can't remember what the hell the other one was, but yeah, it was some stupid comment.
Something, yeah.
Oh, it was weird. It was like why it was under a Nintendo like how to make a Japanese eShop account
Hmm.
video that I had done, and it goes why put link to something you stupid idiot or whatever. And then again I went into the thing because that's a moment where I would have been gone in there and kill him with kindness.
Yeah.
That's something that I'll do from time to time. It's just like, well, sir, that's where the retail side
That's
comes
the
up.
secret power of YouTube. I do that all the time. You just kill him with kindness. Hey, like, cause you know what? Like that guy's gonna sound like he's. Hey, I don't see like how when you call someone like retarded or something, the hard R, you drop the hard R or you
Yeah.
drop the hard F or whatever, and you're just like, yeah, I think that's. I think he can't come back to that. Like, you know, like I'm a strong man. Yeah, exactly. It's a
Like,
cute.
come on.
I'm a keyboard warrior. So like, um, defender of man's rights. Uh, yeah, I just kill him with kindness. Like the guy that told me to go get cancer and die. I just like I try to get a little dark on him. I'm like, we're all gonna have our time. I'm going to you, but I would never want to wish you having cancer. I would rather wish a nice. I think I go like a quick death, or like a painless one, like hopefully in your sleep, or something
Jesus.
very sudden, like rectal trauma.
Oh my
Just a little
God.
bit, just a little bit. That was
See, you're better than me with that one.
yeah.
I would have typed something up, deleted it, like I would have typed something up, not send it, and be like, all right, there we go. I typed it out. That's all I
And
needed.
that's all. No,
And
no.
then I'm
Joseph
gonna
goes in
block
a little bit.
you
Joseph says what he needs to say, gives you about a minute or two to reply, because I know you're watching it. And then I mute you and I block you. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna make another account. One guy actually did on the Labo video, and I'm just like,
out of here.
dude, you're referencing a comment that doesn't exist anymore. You made this account. He's like, what are you talking about?
Oh my
Like,
God.
oh my goodness. So like to me, yeah, like dealing with trolls is kind of like dealing with that one customer at work. And so like to me, it's like if ever you're gonna drop a mean comment, just know you're the equivalent of that bitch who's online who is yelling at that nice, sweet, like 16-year-old girl that's her first day over a sale on blueberries. Don't be that. Don't be
Yeah,
that
man.
woman. Don't be that bitch of a human being.
It's crazy, and I guess 9 times out of 10 they don't expect a response back,
No.
or maybe they do, or maybe they want the response back. I have no idea,
I
but
think what it is just like people. This is how they get their stress out.
yeah,
Like this is
I
how
can see
you
that.
you have all this built up energy and you just want to yell it at people. And you want to take it and throw it at someone because you know they can't hit you back. Like,
Yeah,
dude, it happened to me at Fortnite. When I've told people like it's good that Nintendo doesn't have voice chat because they don't have to deal with me. Trust me, I was in a party where like I had just the worst people, not just like oh, I'm bad at the game, but like calling each other again the hard F's, the hard R's. I don't like those two words. I don't like them. And then like this one person, I'm just like I'm saying something, and then he calls me the N word, and then and the hard F, and then the hard F, and then the hard R, and I'm just like in 3 sentences. That is oddly, strangely, in a racist kind of way, poetic. But like I just went off on this person, and then like I went off so bad that like I it was like all my stress of like ever built up in me, and I didn't feel good afterwards. I was just like, I actually feel like I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have challenged this probably stupid teenager online of who could yell in their mic more and say mean things to each other. I felt foolish.
oh my God.
But like getting over like mean comments, how about this? The people you love.
Yeah.
How do they deal with you, Joe? On a daily basis? How do they take what you do? You know, like mean people, they're gonna say mean shit because they want
Hmm.
you to stop. But like the people in your life, like your beautiful fiance, right? I assume because I don't think Joe, you would tell. Like, how does she take what you do? Like, does she be like, Joe's out doing this video game thing?
I mean, I'd like to think we work it out. You're in here, right? No, she's not. Okay, I heard footsteps before. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure, and now I can't hear you. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust my headphones
Uh
here.
oh.
That was me. There we go. I was like, oh God, the audio jack is like so borked on my monitor.
Oh no.
Um, but yeah, no. She works overnights a lot,
Okay.
so it's like I'll I'll work my stream schedule around when she's working, and
Mm-hmm.
then the day she's not working, I'll be like, hey, she knows I stream on the weekend, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stream from this time to this time. Is that okay? This is in our bedroom. This is the only place we have everything. So as long as I have this green screen out of the way the TV screen, so she can play Final Fantasy 14, she's
Okay.
good.
So she's a
So
gamer too, or she's just like,
yeah,
all right,
she
yeah,
she.
that's good.
I mean, she's been playing Final Fantasy 14 for like the last year and a half, just nonstop. So she's like addicted to it.
A lot of people who left WoW go to Final Fantasy 14. A
It's
lot of my
crazy.
friends. Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's the game of my childhood. Like there's like a good 5 year period where Joseph did nothing but play World of Warcraft. I'll never get those 5 years back, but I don't need them anyway.
Hey man, it's all worth it.
So so your girlfriend doesn't mind. What about your parents? Oh God, what about your parents, Joe?
I mean, I'm working.
So they're just like, all right,
I have a job. Like my parents, they live out in California. My dad's
oh
out there
really?
with my stepmother and whatnot. So I'm really the only one here outside of the immediate family. All my family is here in New York City anyway. So it's like
Okay.
not alone. We live together with her mom, my soon-to-be mother-in-law. I guess I just say like mother-in-law anyway because it's like it's whatever. It's
Yeah. How
I
long
don't
have you
plan
two
on
been together?
what 2012. It's 2018. 6 years. six
Oh
years I want
wow!
to say.
I thought you were gonna say 20. I'm like, Joe. Whoa.
No, no, no,
How
no,
old are
no,
you,
no.
Joe? By the way.
I am gonna be 30 this year.
Oh Jesus. See
Yeah.
then I'm
That's
like,
why when I was like talking about you and Patrick saying you guys are old, I'm like, shut up.
because I'm 26. Things are just not going my way. You're Mr.
Uh,
Art Design guy over here. What is this? Worked at Apple. um, because for me, like, yeah, no,
Gets his
that's
degree from school.
yeah. Oh God. Like, yeah, I'm like back at college, like, working to get my degree, and like, yeah, like my parents, my mom, most supportive person in the whole entire world. My father, he's, but
Hey,
like, yeah, and like the rest of my family are just like, do you make money off of it? I'm like, technically. I love this. Technically, I get a nickel for every video I make. So yeah,
hey, man, it's like you take it in small strides. Freaking, I know, like with the whole YouTube thing right now, it's like, hey,
Oh
things
boy.
are weird, but I get it at the same time. It's silly, but I
Yeah.
get it. Um, I mean, even if they were to cut it off on my end and if they were to make it like 10,000 subscribers, like, all right, well, I wasn't really making any money off these videos anyway.
No, dude,
It's not
it's
like I can cash out a check on
yeah.
AdSense and be like, okay, can I get my check, please? Like, I'm good.
You
Like,
don't. That's why when a lot of people complained, I'm just like, I don't get it. Like I
yeah,
get it. It
uh,
sucks, but like I'm just like never got a paycheck, so I don't,
exactly.
whatever. Like to me, I do it because again, like I've said this multiple times, but it helps search engine optimization. Like that's why I do it in the first place. So like that's why it pisses me off. That's the only reason. But like I just keep my head down and I just do what I do.
Hunker down, hustle, and
Just
freaking keep doing what you love. Like
yeah.
that's at the end of the day what it comes down to is like I went off on PMP a couple episodes about that, and I that was like the only time that it like bothered me because it was like all these people complaining. I'm like, dude, you, remember why you started YouTube in the first place? Remember
Right.
why you started streaming in the first place?
Right.
Like, this is something you love to do. Go keep going at it. This is
Don't
not
don't
the
let
end.
this be the roadblock for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah, I get it. Like, after a while, and after certain many subs or whatever the case may be, like, your priorities change, but don't forget why you did it.
yeah.
And don't forget, like, let's just say if you're one of those, like, couple hundred grand channels out there and this is your full time job, that don't make it out to be like this isn't an amazing thing to put on a resume. Don't act like you can't put it on a resume. Because I'll give you one amazing hint or tip for you kids out there. One of my professors, she goes, "Yeah, I did a lot of interning in my day, but the number one thing that landed me my job at the Mars company was the M&Ms and all that jazz. Is this little startup I made when I was in college, just trying to make a buck. It didn't go anywhere, but they saw that I I I had a passion in something, and that I knew how it worked. I tried something myself because they want to see people doing something for themselves.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
with that, I want to ask you, and maybe this will be our last main topic here. PNP, right? Planet Nintendo
Hmm.
podcast. How does that come to be? How did you meet Bobby and Patrick?
Yeah, that was all happenstance. Like that was really weird. So I bumped into Bobby's Amazon video. It showed up on my recommended feed.
Okay.
I think honestly, I think my phone tracks my Discord because whenever we have conversations about how bad Amazon is, something will happen.
Like
My
today.
YouTube suggested. So I see it. I'm like, oh, all right, let's check this out. And I'm always like looking at random whatever things are suggested on my not my sub box, but like the regular home feed.
Mhm.
And he's going off about the Amazon pre-orders. It's like, yep, everything he's saying is absolutely right. And that's why I stopped doing pre-orders, because it was so hit and miss for me.
Yeah. Happened
Games
with
would I
Bayonetta and Dragon Ball for me.
all right, rip.
Yeah.
Like, jeez, that's brutal. Um, so yeah, I saw that video, and then I noticed the next day he was live streaming with you as Poly Games.
Oh shit!
It comes full circle.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Yeah, but yeah, you were Poly Games at the time. I think you were at like 400 subscribers or something. This was like a few months ago.
Oh man. Oh, those are the times. Poly games. Oh.
But yeah, I jumped in on the conversation when I could, and then I saw maybe a couple more streams after that, that I was able to just catch on because I was at work working late hours, and then he asked me to jump on Nintendo Talk because he realized like, oh, this dude that's like in here has like I had at the time I was like a little bit ahead of him, and I jumped, and that's probably because like people that go on Twitch will just then go on YouTube and sub to my channel.
Mm-hmm.
My family base is on Twitch. Like that's how it be. YouTube's just my library for now until Twitch's upload system gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's getting there, but it's still got some work. I'm gonna bark up the tree later on tonight actually about that.
So you get on Nintendo Talk.
We do that, and maybe, gosh, I want to say maybe a month or two, not even a month or two later, he's like, dude, you free? Like, can I Skype you? I was like, all right, wow, I haven't gone on Skype in like a year. So I go in, and that's where I meet Patrick for the first time. He's like, dude, Patrick's got this idea. I can't do all the heavy lifting on this one. I have way too many podcasts going on and whatnot, but I can do this one, but I want to do it with you and Patrick. I was like, fuck yeah, like I'm down. You ain't got to tell me twice. I'm sold. And he's like, you know how Bobby is. He'll go on for about like 10 minutes.
Talk about the good old days.
And I'm like, dude, you don't have to sell me on anything. I was there as soon as you asked me.
Talking about
like,
how he was alive during the 60s. I'm like, I get it. Gerald Ford was president when you were in middle school. Bobby.
Oh my god. But yeah, I was like, dude, I'm honored that you even want to have me on the show. I don't think you've seen enough streams of how crazy I am. So
let me tell you, dude, like maybe you're right, but like the reason why I love your energy. That's the thing. Is like I've seen a few of your streams and I love your positivity. You come off positive and don't get. I say things that are compliments. Trust me when I say this. This is a compliment. But your excitement's almost childlike, right? In a way, like you get super joyful at things, and so like it's so easy for me to be like, I'm gonna watch Joe for about like a good 15-20 minutes and see what he's doing, being better at video games and such. So like,
God no.
For me, yeah, like dude,
you sure that was me on the stream?
You don't know how bad I am at things. But like no, like you're fantastic, and that's what like this shows like to me. You know, one of those things is like it's about the positivity. It's about like something more than just like this is the company that's fucking up today. EA, you know, it's always EA, and so like
I'm glad you mentioned that because there's too much of that, and I don't know, maybe I'm just naive and just want to keep things a positive community and focus on things that I like. Can I not do that? Can I not do that and not be successful at what I'm doing? And it seems to be working.
Yeah,
this last year has been insane.
It's same here. Last year has been nuts. Like I've met so many people. Networking. I hate that word, but like I've made so many friends, man. It's like
It's awesome.
It's
It
so
really is.
it's so awesome. Like the Planet Nintendo podcast is amazing. It really is. Like it was an honor for me to be a part of that with you guys.
That was fun, dude.
Yeah.
That was like instant connection. Like that was the same thing like when I was on Nintendo Talk with Bobby. Like we started talking about wrestling for like 30 minutes on that show. And it was just a normal conversation. Like, I don't know. I feel like this has sort of helped me get out of that shell
Yeah.
because it goes back to what I was saying before. Like, I'm very like to myself. I don't go out of my way to talk to people, and it's not because like I'm like complex or anything that I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. Like, I just
Yeah.
have trouble talking to people. Like, I don't do it unless
Yeah.
I'm at work because I have to, or if I'm at home. Like, of course, I'm gonna talk to my fiance and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, yeah, I
No,
love
like
her.
you. How's your ninja or whatever in your game?
But if I'm at like a party or whatever and I don't know anybody, I'm
Yeah.
just okay. Here's my drink. I'm gonna have a soda or my
Now,
Jack Coke.
you know what it is with me when it comes to social settings. If my anxiety jacks into overtime, that it gives me so much adrenaline that I'll go out there and say some really stupid shit. I'm social because I'm antisocial. That's how antisocial I am. So I'll go in front of people and do and say really wacky and dumb, insane shit. But like that's just who I am. It's just that adrenaline that feeds me. It's so crazy. While like we do this, right? It's like it's so
Yeah,
strange because like yeah, you consider yourself a homebody, me too, and I'm just like, why,
yeah.
why do this? But it's that passion of video games, man. Can't
Dude, that's what it comes down to. And I know we had steered off the Capcom conversation
yeah,
of like
steer
going
us
into
back in.
Nintendo. I don't know if I should go back to the Capcom invite. Blah blah blah. I met people. Seek and Destroy became one of my good buddies. And he was like, dude, I'm getting back into YouTube and Twitch. Like after like all the people that we had met there, I met Wolf DNC, who's a speedrunner over on Twitch as well.
Okay,
Speedruns a bunch of Resident Evil stuff. There's like a whole community with that I've become so many. I've met so many people through there and become friends with, which is amazing. And then yeah, that kind of closed out 2016 was like with like all those games, and then Switch coming out in 2017. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna invest in just focusing on one thing,
yeah,
and that being Nintendo because that's what I grew up with, and that's home for me.
yeah.
Like, say what you want about the Wii U, say what you want about the Wii. They all had their good set of games. Say
Yes,
what you want about GameCube. Like
yeah.
there were good games. This right here, I do still have like it didn't. The Wii didn't age well. The Wii did not age well.
No,
I
it
will
did
just say
not.
that I still got to play Metroid Prime 3 Corruption with that thing, and I'm like, I can't get the sensor bar
This
to work.
is just
I can't. But yeah, that was the moment I decided to like just full on change it over.
let me ask you that now that she was in the background.
Yeah.
How did you meet your lovely fiance? That'll be the one that closes it out. I promise.
Yeah. We met at a bar that she used to work at. She was the shot girl there,
Okay.
and I would go there. What?
Shot girl slash waitress slash
Yeah,
coolest
slash like
person in the
you
building,
kind of did everything.
slash coolest person in the building.
Well, yeah, that's all true. Those are facts. I'm
I'm
not gonna fight that. I'm not gonna argue that
You
point.
better not, I will kill you in your sleep.
Oh
There we go.
Jesus!
No
is
pressure
she
at all.
is she one of the commenters on one of my videos? What is this? Oh
Oh
man.
man. But no. I would go there with two of my close friends, and it was
Every
like,
day.
yeah, not every day, but like every weekend
Every
was
day I
pretty
work.
much there. That it just was coincidental that you worked there every day.
Every day.
And she caught your eye. I guess you glanced over, and you're like,
It was weird because like we were just really chill with each other,
mm,
and then one day I got the courage to ask for her number
Oh,
"Aw,
sure.
when she drove me to the train station because it was pouring outside.
damn, what a waitress,
Yeah,
man!"
I know, right? I know.
Like, I just want to make sure you get home safe. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And then
I don't know if you heard all that.
Oh, sucker.
That is
That's
awesome.
that's a short version of all of that, but yeah, that's sort of how we got to start knowing each other a little bit better, and
That's
then
awesome. And
kind
now
of
how? Okay, because I'm a
sister.
sucker. I'm a sucker for this stuff. Like, if I get really depressed, I watch the episodes where Jim and Pam get together on The Office. So let me ask you this. This is the final one. I promise. How did
Yeah,
you
dude.
propose to her?
Oh man, ooh, this was interesting. So we went to this restaurant, this Japanese restaurant that we used to go to when we first started dating a lot. Tenzin. That day it kind of sucked.
Story.
The food kind of sucked there that day. So it was like, oh, all right, well, off to a bad start here. Then we started walking all around the city, and she, of all people, she gets claustrophobic real easy, and wanted to see go to Rockefeller Center and go to the tree, see the tree, and then what's outside of Rockefeller Center that does that show with the lights on the building?
Oh, that's on.
Is that Saks? The Saks Fifth Avenue has this whole building that does this like crazy light show during the holidays.
Okay.
This was December 9th. December 8th. Sorry, I was like, wait, no, Joe.
I was like, let me end the show real romantic.
Yeah, it's 7 days after my. It's the day after my mother's birthday. So that's how I had timed it originally, to do it on my mother's birthday.
But you can't add.
But I can't add. I can't do math. Yeah, that is true story.
Same here, man.
So we watch the show. We go to the Rockefeller Center, and then like that's when her anxiety starts to set. Well, her claustrophobia starts to set in, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go make our way around. But like she's starting to speed up. She's like, oh my god, she's doing it too quick. I've had this ring in here all day, mind you. I've had the ring like 6 months before that in the same bedroom in my drawer, and she never knew. So like.
Your stuff.
I know, and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness she never found this." So I was like, "Stop! I have something to tell you." And I got on my knee and I proposed to her, and she said yes.
That's fucking adorable. What better way to end the show? Oh man. Oh man. So where can they find you, Joe? What do you do? Where can they find you? What's your social media? Where can they find you?
Yeah, everywhere at JoAfterwork. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch is all JoAfterwork.
All right.
But there were no pictures. I had no eyebrows.
Yeah, it was all spur of the moment.
It was not planned. No hair done.
That's how I live life sometimes, without a plan.
The last outfit for laundry has to get done, so it's the one you like the least.
It was.
No makeup.
I liked the
my
moment.
long North Face
I thought the
caterpillar
moment was
jacket.
nice. I thought it was nice.
Well, with that said, go ahead, check Joe on all of those places, all that social media. I'll put it down in the description below. What a fantastic episode, Joe. I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Of course, man. Here at the Bad Bit Show, Ken, we'll close it out with this. It's a show where I interview or I talk to some awesome people that get me inspired. Joe, you inspire me day in, day out to do the content that I do. So thank you. Hopefully it inspired you out there to go out there and create. And if it did, tell me. Let me know in the comment section down below. And with that said, you can check me out at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. You can check me out at Badbit Games on YouTube, which, this is only on YouTube, so you found it. And yeah, that said, we also do the Trophy Room, PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players every Tuesday at noon. But that'll always be late, but it'll be on Tuesday. Anyway, you know what? I said too much. Joe, close the show out for me. I can't do it.
Oh my god. I normally close out with just a silly thing.
Okay.
If you enjoy what you saw here, give it a like, share with friends. Let them know what we do here. It's Bad Bit Games. And see you next time. Take care. Love y'all.